It's time for the Trading Stocks Made Easy podcast. Each week, Trading Stocks Made Easy demystifies stock trading and investing so you can profit big. And now, here's the host of Trading Stocks Made Easy, the wealthy investor, Tyrone Jackson.
Welcome to Trading Stocks Made Easy. I'm your host, Tyrone Jackson, back with another fantastic episode. You know, I'm always excited when you're going to take some time and listen to the show. Our rate of listenership, the amount of listeners we're beginning on iTunes is just astounding. So I have to thank all of you for being a part of it. So we know that we're doing something right and we're inspiring, educating, and informing you. And that's all good. Please make sure you stop by iTunes and rate and review our show. That is so important that I have the opportunity to hear. I actually read the reviews and hear some of your concerns and your delights. It helps us really put the show together. Hey, if you've ever wondered, I don't have time to trade and invest in the stock market. Other people handle my money. Well, on today's episode, you're going to meet a recording engineer by the name of Matt Anthony, who actually owns a recording studio, runs it, and trades and invests at the same time. He's very inspirational because sometimes we think of money as something that other people do, and we let other people handle our money instead of getting that financial education and earning it ourselves. Now, one of the things that Matt and I discuss in this interview is one of my favorite trades that when it works for us, it earns $2,500 a day. You don't want to miss that. And we're going to get to Matt Anthony right after this break.
You're listening to the Trading Stocks Made Easy podcast. Want to learn more about how to trade and invest in the stock market? Visit thewealthyinvestor.net/products. That's thewealthyinvestor.net/products and order the Wealthy Investor's Guide to Stock Market Success audio series. This easy-to-follow 5-CD audio series and manual will teach you the basics of how to buy and sell stocks, how to collect quarterly dividends for life, plus hidden income generating strategies like covered call writing and volatility trading. Start creating financial freedom right now. Get the financial education you need to get ahead. Visit thewealthyinvestor.net/products.
Wealthy Investor, Wealthy Investor, WealthyInvestorRadio.com.
And here we are, Trading Stocks Made Easy, and I am with one of my, all of my students are my favorite students, but this guy, I really am so happy that he's taken an opportunity to come out and be a guest on the show. His name is Matt Anthony, and he is a recording engineer by profession, by trade, and a very, very good one at that. And this is someone who really knows his industry, the music business, the television business, and I've had an opportunity to talk to him, talk shop, if you will, on many occasions. Now, the other thing that both Matt and I have in common, of course, is the stock market. So today, we're going to talk to Matt about his trading skills, how he got into the stock market, where he sees his future, and what some of his favorite stocks and trades are that he uses on a regular and consistent basis. But first, I want to officially and formally say, hey, Matt, thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you very much. Pleasure.
I am so happy that you're here. I know a little bit of something about you, but our audience doesn't. Can you just, one of the things I love about doing the show is that we really see that real people actually enter the stock market, make real money, and it really does change their lives. So let's get right into your story and tell us where you grew up. A little bit about how you were raised, and then how you discovered stock market trading and investing.
Okay, I grew up in Pennsylvania, in suburban Pennsylvania, in a town called Northampton, tiny town. Spent my life there until I was 18 when I moved to the city to go to school for audio engineering in Manhattan. I didn't know anything about the stock market. My parents, I know they owned stocks. It was never really something that was spoken about or taught or really discussed on any level. I didn't really learn about the stock market until someone in your program, a colleague of mine. We were talking one day and you came up in your method, and he was really taken by it and, told me to check it out. I went onto the website and got your CD. And actually, I was one of the guys that bought the CD, listened to all your lessons there to sort of prep myself and see, can I do this? Do I understand this? It was all very scary. If you had never had any experience with it, I was like, can I handle my own money? Is that the smart thing to do? But I was like, I don't really like, how it's going currently with who's handling it. So I was like, well, why not give it a shot? At the very worst, learn something new. But it's become so much better than that. The way that you teach, if I tried to learn it in a book or some other course, it would just have been way too intimidating or just not my style of being able to jump in. So I felt that was, very confident after a short amount of time, which is amazing.
Now, you mentioned that it was scary. What's the scary about? What's the fear about before you knew how to take control of your own money?
Obviously, what everyone says, losing it all.
Yes.
That's obviously that's the main fear. Just like, oh my God, I don't really have any background in this. I could lose this all in a heartbeat if I'm not careful. Yeah, that was the biggest fear. That was the main thing.
Now, the thing that tickles me, Matt, about this whole thing is the idea of losing it all. Not, I could put $5,000 in a brokerage account. I may lose $200-300 of it. Like, if the idea that
right,
to control people, it's like all of it will be gone. Like, I won't even have $49 left. I'm so bad at this. Like, all of every single dollar that I have will be gone.
There's always that fear of something that you don't understand and don't know enough about, and which is a valid fear, of course.
Sure. Now, you had someone else either, quote unquote, handling your money. They obviously had your confidence, right? What do they do to get your? Because I don't think, first of all, you would never let anybody else handle your money today with what you know, would you?
Absolutely not. No.
Okay. What is it about that person that got your confidence and trust and had you feel like it was okay?
It was actually something that was set up from a previous job that I worked at. They had it invested. It was more of it was my SEP account. So someone was just handling that and, investing. And I really, I got statements, but it didn't really mean much to me because I didn't really understand what it all meant, to be honest with you. And I just noticed over years and years, I'm like, this is not really going anywhere. This is not growing. This is not, or at least at a rate that I think it should, which is one of the main catalysts for me getting interested in figuring out a way to learn more about the market and investing.
Now, what is it that you like so much about trading on the one hand, right, when we're jumping in and out of stocks for profit, and investing? Because you seem to really enjoy this process.
Coming from I write music for television shows and commercials and stuff like that. So, I was accustomed to this idea of royalties and residual income, basically, which we always talk about. And that made a lot of sense to me. I totally got it. I love residual income from my industry. So the idea of being able to do that on your own and sort of control it regularly with writing covered calls is, to me, that sold me right from the get-go. Writing covered calls, I was like, yes, sign me up. And so I love writing covered calls, but I also then, the leap options and trading them and setting up calendar spreads against them. It's just, you got a lot of options, as you say, with leaps. It's amazing. There's a lot to look forward to and be happy about, really, especially when you have options that you can, learning how to trade when the market is not necessarily always going up. Fascinating and fantastic,
Let me ask you about this, because just before we get into some of your specific trades, how much money you've made, like your best trade of all time and all that, it's important that people know you own a full-time business, right? So if you're running a business all day, how do you find time to buy and sell a stock?
It doesn't really take that much of my time. I don't sit all day and I try not to all day, look at my phone and look at the market, but it's really something I do before work starts in the morning. And with trade triggers, you can do it automatically. It doesn't take a lot of time. In fact, you can just set it up once a month and do the rest with triggers. So it hasn't taken a lot of my time. Some people get more active about it, I know, than others, but I try to not get too obsessive about it.
And you own your own recording studio, correct?
Yeah, exactly.
And how many people do you employ at this recording studio?
It is actually just myself and a partner.
Okay, yourself and a partner, but you have clients who are coming in also
all day long,
sessions, right? So
exactly.
How do you mentally go from recording sessions and scripts and clients and invoices? You found that a transition for yourself to then be able to check on your account and say, oh, I'm going to buy and sell this?
I actually do most of my trading on my phone, so I can do it while I'm sort of sitting at the console or at work. It's really not very time consuming at all.
More with Matt Anthony right after this commercial break.
You're listening to the Trading Stocks Made Easy podcast. Want to learn more about how to trade and invest in the stock market? Visit thewealthyinvestor.net/products. That's thewealthyinvestor.net/products and order the Wealthy Investor's Guide to Stock Market Success audio series. This easy to follow 5-CD audio series and manual will teach you the basics of how to buy and sell stocks, how to collect quarterly dividends for life, plus hidden income generating strategies like covered call writing and volatility trading. Start creating financial freedom right now. Get the financial education you need to get ahead. Visit thewealthyinvestor.net/products.
Wealthy Investor, Wealthy Investor, wealthyinvestorradio.com.
Back with my interview with Matt Anthony.
Now, let's talk about what everybody wants to hear. What are your favorite, before we talk about the types of trades, we know you love cover calls. We all love cover calls. What are your favorite stocks to actually trade? So if I said, give me 3 stocks off the top of your head, what are they? And the reason I ask you that, Matt, is because there's this notion when it comes to trading that we are zipping around in 14 different stocks, and then we bought one and we sold one, and now we've got to go back and buy another stock. Usually in the Wealthy Investor Program, we're trading the same thing. We can trade the same thing like 150 times in a year, right? So we're not always researching different stocks. We could be trading the same 4 stocks over and over and over again. If I were to ask you about the first 3 things that come to your mind, first 3 stocks that you like to trade in today's market, what would they be?
I love Disney. It's done fantastic, and it's a great story, and there's a lot to look forward to with Star Wars coming out at the end of the year. I love Apple.
We all love Apple.
We all love Apple. I love the Qs if we're getting into the ETFs, but also Starbucks as a stock is fantastic.
Yes, and now I'm going to ask you, and this is going to be obvious to you and I, but again, this is for the audience that's listening. Most of us invest in Disney stock because that 5-year chart is absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
You're one of the rare people who like trading it. And trading it, for those of you who don't know, is buying it and selling it and buying it back and selling it and selling it. Why do you like Disney as a trade?
Well, I'm doing both, which I know is a tricky thing to do, but I'm doing it in 2 different accounts. So on one account, I'm just holding, and I have another account where I'm trading.
Okay. And why do you favor it? Is there a certain amount of volatility in the stock that you like?
It's just I think it's just solid. It's actually the lack of volatility that I like. It's just consistent. When there's a big pullback, Disney seems to do fine. It's a steady Eddie, So I definitely am investing in it and trading it at the same time.
Perfect. Now,
isn't your recommended strategy?
I know. It's not. But listen, people always say, I'm trading Disney and I don't so much invest it. I know you like for us to hold that stock, and I say, listen, if you made money this month, then that's the right answer, right? Whether it's through a trade or through an investment, as long as you made money every single month, then I am happy. When you buy Disney and you sell it, do you sell it for a 50-cent increase in the stock, 75 cents, $1, $1.50? How do you, when you buy your shares that you want to quickly sell, what price do you usually sell them at? What increase?
I'm actually writing calls against it. I'm not trading in and out. I'm not volatility trading it.
Okay, you're not volatility trading.
I'm using it for cover call. And holding on to certain shares. I'll write a way out call against them and just mark them and hold on to them.
Do you volatility trade Starbucks?
Yes.
Okay. So 50 cents, $1, $1.25?
I have to look at my trigger. I think it's above 50. I may have set a 75-cent trigger on it. Let me see.
Okay. So you'll buy shares, and then you tell the software in your account, hey, when this stock moves 75 cents, sell them.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's a great one. Starbucks is definitely a great stock for that. Have you ever traded, at the time of this recording, eBay is really hot. Have you ever volatility traded eBay?
I did a long time ago. Yes, I was trading with great success with eBay.
Right.
I haven't been back in a little while. I will check it out.
That stock is a wild one. I mean, there's volatility when it's rising, but boy, it'll pull back $7 and then not go anywhere for like a month or two, And
Right.
and the thing that contrasts that from like a Starbucks is, because they've come out of that stock split, the institutions really like it. You can get that 75 cents with some frequency.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. Now, what's great about your story is that you're in all levels of the Wealthy Investor Program. You have the Basic Millionaire, Inner Circle. Talk about the difference when you first were introduced to options trading, because you had been trading stocks for a little while. When you were first introduced to options trading, what did you think?
For me, it was a whole eye-opening situation. I knew nothing about options trading before that, and, I just thought, oh, my goodness. This is, at some point, like you say something, you're like, really? Legally you can do this?
Right.
I just blew my mind, and it's been a great thing to add to my knowledge, my skills of being able to invest. I mean, it's the exponential nature of it is fantastic.
And a lot of people say, and I would love to get your reaction to this, a lot of people say, because, there are a lot of people who teach options trading in particular, and it's all about the fast money, which, let's face it, in the reality, you can make a lot of fast money, $5,000 a day, $10,000 a day. But they really don't talk about, like, you had to learn the Greeks, right? So you had to learn what delta, theta,
Absolutely,
and vega.
everything. Yeah.
Right. So when you have to learn a whole new language in order to trade these things, was learning that language and applying it, was that difficult for you?
It wasn't at all.
Okay.
It's a credit to you that I've read, I pick up books from time to time, I check them out, and just to expand, on all of this. And, reading it in a book, and by most people, it's really incredibly intimidating and complex, and it seems so much more frightening. But, your teaching method and the way you've been able to explain it to myself and so many others it's shockingly intuitive. The amount of knowledge I've learned in such a short time is amazing. I didn't find it that intimidating to jump in once we've talked. I had a few classes of Inner Circle.
Right. And obviously, we're going to talk about trading profits here for a moment. So your profits, what have you done? I had a guest on not too long ago, and he talked about, vacation for him and his kids.
Right.
I know that with I've been trading for 20 years, every once in a while, I just do some stupid things, right? Just because, like I'm really into collecting. I'm really into collecting watches. I don't know when that started.
The Apple Watch?
No, not the Apple Watch. You know how I feel about Apple.
No,
that's another
I
story for another time. But not the Apple Watch. But there's a certain brand of watch, and I have like 16 of them now, and they're all financed by stock market trades, right?
I hear you.
And I've also done cars and automobiles and all that. What have you done with some of your profits for either you and your family that have made you feel good?
Yeah, I mean, I try to, obviously, the biggest thing is to reinvest in long-term dividend-paying stocks. But more, I just actually paid for my son's summer camp with the stock market. So that was great. I mean, to just be able to take care of that in one shot is pretty fantastic. Probably bought a few guitars with the
there you go.
With the profits. It's amazing. But generally, I try to, obviously reinvest, and that's a fantastic. Just to be able to do that, to reinvest money you made out of the stock market itself, is amazing.
And we started talking this interview about fear, right? Do you still have the fear now that you're going to lose it all?
No.
Okay, why is that?
I've been trading now for almost 4 years, so I've seen some pullbacks and some retracement. In the past, there were a few, early on, there were one or two incidences where, I panicked, just like I think anybody would that is starting out. They're like, oh my God, what just happened to the market this week, We had a week like that last week almost, But, you realize that, look at a 2-year chart and don't panic. And you have to be a little patient, have some discipline, but retracement's always around the corner after those scenarios, and as long as you weren't too greedy with your options, you'll be fine. So that fear has really gone away. I've seen I've had to wait the situation out once or twice, but that's the market. That's how it goes.
More with Matt Anthony right after this commercial break.
You're listening to the Trading Stocks Made Easy podcast. Want to learn more about how to trade and invest in the stock market? Visit thewealthyinvestor.net/products. That's thewealthyinvestor.net/products and order the Wealthy Investor's Guide to Stock Market Success audio series. This easy to follow 5 CD audio series and manual will teach you the basics of how to buy and sell stocks, how to collect quarterly dividends for life, plus hidden income generating strategies like covered call writing and volatility trading. Start creating financial freedom right now. Get the financial education you need to get ahead. Visit thewealthyinvestor.net/products.
Wealthy Investor. Wealthy Investor. WealthyInvestorRadio.com.
Back with my interview with Matt Anthony.
Can you just share for our audience, you don't have to tell us your whole financial life, but every trader has like a trade that they just love. I know that there are days when because I tend to sleep, well, I don't know if my audience needs to know this, but I sleep late and I go to bed late because I have financial freedom, right? So I pretty much just do what I want. And there have been days when I have, just gotten out of bed and it's $5,000, $7,000, $14,000 in profit, right? And I didn't really do anything other than to log in and go, wow, this is great.
Absolutely.
Can you just give a sense of, one of your best trades recently where you just said, wow, this is awesome?
Between the Apple leaps and the Qs, there was a point at which I was pair trading them, and it was fantastic. The kind of thing where you're like, why am I going into the studio today?
And give us a sense of a dollar amount. Like what dollar amount floored you?
On average, like $2,500 a day.
Yes.
Before 9:35 in the morning.
Yes. And the thing that gets me, and I don't know if this is your experience, but the thing that gets me is the speed at which it happens. Yeah. You can't buy a brand new home on $2,500 or $5,000 or $7,000, but when it keeps happening. Right. Several times in a week, you're on to something good.
Exactly. Yeah. Yes, absolutely.
And that's what happens when you have a financial education. You can make more money than you've ever dreamed of without taking a lot of risk, but just following the Wealthy Investor approach to stock market trading and investing. So make sure you visit thewealthyinvestor.net, sign up for our free newsletter. But it's time for me to get out of here. That's what that music is telling me. This is Tyrone Jackson, the Wealthy Investor, and I know I'm going to see you in the next episode.
You've been listening to the Trading Stocks Made Easy podcast. Be sure to rate and review our show on iTunes. While you're on iTunes, be sure to click the subscribe button and you'll automatically receive our next episode.